Good morning. What is up, guys? Happy Friday. It is Deal Finding Friday. My name's Nathan Valle, and we're going to be using Privy today to show you guys a little bit about what I like to do and how I find deals, how I talk to agents, what's the quickest, fastest way to do it. So today I'm actually going to be doing something cool. I am supposed to be leaving very shortly to go to Delaware. I currently live in Danbury, Connecticut, but I have family in Delaware that I'll be visiting with this weekend. And so I said, oh man, why don't I show you guys how can we find a deal if I want to go do a deal this weekend in Delaware? So, and I know nothing about Delaware. All I know is my dad lives there. so let's use Privy. Let me share my screen with you guys and see what would I do if I wanted to find a deal in a totally different market that I knew absolutely nothing about, and I wanted to do it from scratch, starting today, right now, in the least amount of time possible. Big promise. Let's see if we can deliver. All right, share screen. Okay, here we go. Now, if you guys have seen some of my other videos, everything's been in Florida, right? Orlando's kind of my main market. But not today. We're going to be doing Delaware. So what I'm going to do, and guys, I have none of this planned out, right? So I really want, and the reason I do that is because I want you to see, like, what does it look like from your point of view, right? When really starting from scratch, hey, do I type this in? You know, what button should I click? Let's see what pops up. All right, so we're going to put in Delaware. Let's see what pops up. So these are all cities. Delaware, entire state. Okay, boom. Let's click that. Okay, love this. So the first thing we're looking at, and guys, I highly recommend, wherever you're working, if you haven't done this already, do this. And this is this is one of the most important things that Privy can do, and it's so simple. But what all these little bubbles are, this is all the investor activity in Delaware, right? So, and you see how many numbers they are. And I believe it even specifies, I can't remember how to click it. I know there's a certain way to where if I click something or somewheres, it'll actually pop up on the left-hand side of my screen and show, hey, here's how many fix and flips there are. Here's how many landlord properties there are. But right now, I believe it's showing us just the fix and flips. So let's go to filter because I want to look at that again. Or let's retype in Delaware. Because this is going to dictate, hey, where are we going? Where do I want to look in Delaware for a deal? So when we zoom out and we look at the bubbles, I don't want to be in areas that, there's nothing going on, right? That was a problem I've had in previous experience where I was in a market to where, I was picking up deals at amazing prices, but I couldn't sell them. I was like, what's going on? So, and it was funny. It wasn't until I learned about Privy and learned how to use it where I was like, oh, well, that makes perfect sense. I was picking up contracts in places like this and this, right, where there's like 8, 2, 3. Guys, if you remember in Orlando, right, in Florida, when we look at the bubbles, it's like 3,000. Right, 3, 4, 5,000 in kind of the areas that we were working. That's a big difference between 16, 3, 8, 2, right? So, and as wholesalers, guys, when we're wholesaling, right, I don't care how good of a deal we have under contract. If we don't have a buyer willing to buy it from us, we don't get paid. So when we look at it through that lens, it's the cash buyer, the investor, that is our ideal client. And the most important thing is we want to make sure we are in a market where there is a starving crowd. Okay, that's the most important part. So guys, like over here in these areas, no starving crowd, right? So Delaware, right off the bat, boom, I'm probably going to pick up here. Now, another thing, I'm doing Delaware today because that's where I'm going to be driving to, and this is kind of where we're experimenting with it. But honestly, ideally, I would look at this and say, okay, I'm probably not going to do a market in Delaware. I don't really like these numbers. That's not enough activity for something I'd feel comfortable with, especially if I'm looking to do more than, 1 or 2 deals. But let's go here. So I'm going to want to be up in this area. So if I want to find deals as quick as possible, what am I going to do? I'm going to go to filters, right? I'm looking for single family. Now, I don't care about sold properties. I'm not looking for comps. I'm looking to call and make some offers. So actives, fix and flip. I like to increase this a little bit. And the reason being is I just want to make sure I like to be the main filter. I like to make sure I'm able to look at stuff. Now you can always base it off your results, right? Like we click this and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's 4,000 results. Yeah, we might narrow it down a little bit more. But I like to start wide and then narrow depending on how many results we get. Now, beds. I don't like dealing with two-bedroom houses. I know, buyers, what properties are going to sell the best? Stuff that has at least 3 bedrooms. Bathrooms, we can keep all. Stories, I don't care about that. Basement, any. HOA. Now, I know Delaware, a lot of stuff is HOA. We'll keep that on any for right now. Year built, I'll leave that blank for right now. But depending on what your specific buyers want, that's what's really going to dictate what you're putting into these filters, right? Your buyers are going to dictate what you're looking for. Days on market, let's call some stuff that's been sitting for a little bit. So let's do like 50 days plus. ARV timeline, let's do all. Run search. All right, let's see what we get. Okay. So I'm going to want to look up here. There's a bunch of stuff right here. And then let's take a look. So now, guys, I have no clue what ARV is. Like, I don't know what the median price point Delaware is. No clue. I don't do mobile homes, and I don't have buyers for mobile homes. And guys, that's really what dictates like how seriously I look at a property. From a wholesaling standpoint, it's not that you can't make money, wholesaling mobile homes. It's not that you can't, make money wholesaling vacant lots. You can wholesale all of it, any of it, but only if you've got a buyer for it. Because if you don't have a buyer specifically for it, you're going to spend a lot of time spinning your wheels. So let's look here. 199.32. Man, I love that all of these have been sitting for so long. Oh, I love this listed 121 days, 65 days. Where's this one? Let's look at this. Wilmington, back on market and ready for its new owner. Eligible for grants. Qualified buyers, introducing blah, 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 blah. This is a duplex, right? Or a 3-unit? Let's see. Yeah, these look like rentals, right? Clean, affordable. Let's see. No HOA. All right, that's an option. So I really want to call on a single family house. Which one was this again? Was this, I think that was also an apartment. All right. Oh, look at this one. All right. So this one could be a funny conversation. Looking for a great opportunity, look no more, blah, 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 blah. Seller makes no guarantees about the property's condition, which I'm sure they wouldn't want to. Right. So how do we handle something like this? Oh man, yeah, this house, whoo, this thing needs some work. Now, guys, don't be the wholesaler that gets this house, sends out pictures like this, and says, yeah, I think it's it's like $10,000 rehab, paint and carpet. Guys, we don't want to do that. All right, let's take a quick peek at comps. Let's see, we're gonna go to here, we're gonna hit all. I just want to get an idea of like roughly, what do things even go for in this area? What kind of price point are we looking at? Because they're asking, their list price is $85,000, and it's been sitting here for a minute. And this house is a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 1,200 square feet. Love it. Now this is a 3-2. Now the other thing, our house was built in 1940. This was built in 1930. Now, what do I like about this? One, it's right next door. Two, I mean, just by looking at that picture, I bet you this is a fix and flip or an investor. Could be wrong, but let's see. Right, and the reason why is look how good this photo is. Oh, okay, so probably not. Let's see, do they have a before and after? They do not, but it was renovated. All right, so we weren't too far off. The other nice thing I liked about this house was this is built in 1930. So this is also a really old home. Now, the reason I like this so much is this sold back in March, right? Not a little while ago, but sold back in March. I think the market's more optimistic now than it was then. But most importantly is this is right next to ours. It's an old home like ours. It's similar, right? Similar bed, similar square footage. And this sold for $315,000. So let's call this agent up and see what the deal is. All right, so right down here we have the name of the brokerage and the agent. So we're going to copy and paste. Owner passed, bought back by the bank at auction. Oh, is this an REO? Does it say it in here? Well, probably not, but single family. If this is bank owned, yeah, we're not really interested. Why? Because there's not a whole lot of negotiating we can do with the banks. Let's call and find out. So we are looking for Christopher Rose. All right, Chris. All right, we got his number here, but it says office number. Not a big fan of that, but let's see if it goes to a cell. 678-201-0475. Oh my gosh, what's going on there? We're looking like right around Wilmington. Right around Wilmington. Maybe we'll do Jersey next time.
I've reached Christopher Rose with Real Home Services and Solutions.
All right, that is not the number we're looking for. So if this is a bank-owned property, he probably only has like an office number. Let's see. Yeah, these are both the same. Was that the number I just called? 678-201-0475. Yes, it was. All right, so we're gonna move on. Let's move on from that property. Let's see. He's boarded up. Now, guys, the other thing, you know, I know as wholesalers, we're definitely looking for houses we can add value to. But I'm not always looking for the nastiest house that I could find. And the reason being is just because, yeah, we want to look for houses that can use work. Yes, you've got an opportunity to, to get a better price because of how bad shape something's in. But the stuff that's really, really, really bad shape, it's really hard to sell those properties. Or it can be. All right, let's go back. I think we are going to call. Now, the other thing is we're only looking at things that have been sitting on the market for 50 days plus. So what else can I do? Let's look at all the stuff that hasn't been sitting on for 50 days plus. So here, I'm going to get rid of this, and I'm going to do a high of 49. All right, so I want to see everything that's been listed like from today, and that's been sitting for up to 49 days on the market. Now, guys, also, this is how I would do my filters. And I would save the filter and so that I would get emails every day moving forward of new properties that hit the criteria I was looking for. Okay, this is Where's this one at? This is right up in here. This looks nice on the outside. Let's see. I'm looking for something that could use a little bit of work. So just right off the bat, what's some things we can get a feel for? So what price range is Wilmington looking, without looking up what the median price is? My guess would be median price points probably around 250, 200,000 maybe. So if I'm seeing sub price at like 400 and up right off the bat, probably not going to be too interested in it. All right, let's look at this. Why do I like this? Just from the outside, you can tell this looks like an older home. Let's see, right? And this kind of looks a little awkward. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. Okay, this is perfect. This is exactly what we want to look for. Awesome, right? So needs work, but it's not like, oh my gosh, this thing's falling over. Cool. All right, let's look at what do we got? Amazing opportunity. All right, I love that, guys. You don't say amazing opportunity when you're looking to sell to the first-time home buyer who, when everything's in perfect condition, right? So boom, right off that, amazing opportunity for an investor or handyman owner. Guys, I need to look no further. This is the house we want to call. All right. Now, why? Even if I'm off, right? It's listed for 209, 210. Even if I'm $100,000 off, I have no clue what the comp is, what the RV is, what my offer would be. I don't need to know that yet. I need to learn more about the property and their situation first. So that's why I'm going to call them up. And then from there, and they can't really, guys, you don't have to be worried about calling this person because they're literally asking for us to reach out. Investors and handy homeowners, right? They know this is an investor special. It's a fixer-upper, right? So we are the ideal person that they're looking for. They said it right there in the notes. And so we got to give the people what they want. So we're going to call them up. We're going to call Donald here. Donald, the first house I ever wholesaled. The seller's name was Don. Just in case anybody wanted to know that fact. Come on, man. What's with the office phone numbers? I will leave that there for 1 second. I want to find his cell phone number. Let's see. Oh, no, that's LinkedIn. Probably won't have his number, but we'll take a quick peek. Guys, as you know, I'm not a fan of office numbers. We always want to try to get their direct line. Cell phone number is always best if possible. All right, not seeing anything there. Zillow, it's usually a Zillow number, but sometimes it'll have cell phone number down here. All right, it might still be a Zillow number, but let's find out. 302. Phil, what's going on, brother? 323-9900.
Thank you for calling Alliance Realty and the Don Ash Realty Group.
Ugh.
If you're an agent calling about a Don Ash listing, please dial 305.
Ugh. Office number. Not a fan. Let's see. That's still the same number. Man, he might only have an office number. Jeez. Come on, Don. Kill him, Smalls. All right. Let's just call this office back.
Thank you for calling Alliance Realty and the Don Ash Realty Group. If you're an agent calling about a Don Ash listing, please dial 305. Please dial 8 for the company directory or 0 for the general voicemail box. Thank you. Please enter 2 or more letters of the person's first name, then press the pound key. To exit this feature, press only the pound key.
This is the, where's O? I think that should be for Don.
Please enter 2 or more.
All right. Enough of that. Let's just look a little bit more. Guys, so here's, yeah, same number down here for the broker and for that. You know, the other thing is this could be an REO, but we'll move on. Now, guys, if like Delaware was my market and I was seriously working and I wasn't here on a privy call, right, and I'm really trying to do deals, I'm going to do whatever that extra mile is to make sure I get a hold of him and ask about this property, right? So I am going to find his office number. I am going to leave a voicemail, probably 2 of them. And I'm going to call, you know, this morning, I'm going to call in the afternoon and then call again after that, you know, closer to the evening time if I haven't heard back yet. And I'm going to leave a voicemail each time. But I'm here for you guys. We're trying to get some action. We're trying to get some people on the phone. So we gotta power through. Let's see. That was listed 1 day ago. Let's take a look at this. Why did I like this? So let's go back because I want you to see it from my point of view. It's listed 1 day ago. Price is here. We have no clue if it's good price, bad price, whatever. But this picture, not a great picture, right? That one house I clicked on before where I was like, oh, this was probably a flipper, right? What was the difference? That picture, it was edited, it was perfect, everything centered, it was, you know, you could tell by the lighting, all that stuff, right? It was pristine, right? Like that was a pristine listing. This, it's like somebody just like, yeah, let me just snap a pic, right? So 1, 2 things could either be a bad agent, or typically on properties that need work, you know, they put very little effort into it as far as pictures and whatnot. You're right. And man, it's like, man, how about that? What are we playing checkers up in here while we're cooking dinner? I don't know. Oh my goodness. All right. So perfect. This is exactly what we're looking for, right? You know, it's clean. It's not bad, but I mean, could have used some TLC, a little bit of love. You betcha. Oversized corner lot, blah, blah, blah. Great family room, first floor laundry. All right, let's give a call. Let's reach out to Rodman. Rodman, please have your cell phone number. You will make my day. As it loads. Oh my gosh. Does anybody know, is that a Delaware thing? Like, are they not allowed to put out their number, like their personal cell phone number? Because that might actually be a thing. Is this the same number here? Yeah, it is. Annoying. All right, let's try this guy. Let's see if we can at least talk to somebody. 750. Oh, but one thing I want to say for you guys. So Don, that other house, we could have been an interested buyer. Well, we are. We're reaching out as an interested buyer. Hey, you know, we're the right person for this type of property. But what was the problem? And guys, wholesalers do this a lot too. He made it to where it was difficult for me to get in touch with him, to do the thing that he wants me to reach out and talk to him if I'm interested about the property. But there were so many obstacles. What did we do? We just said, you know what? Forget it. Guys, as wholesalers, the same thing happens, right? If we're talking to a seller, or we're talking to an agent, or we're talking to a buyer, whatever the outcome is, right? Whatever the result that you want them to do, the result that you want from them, make it easy for them, right? Make it a very simple path, give them options, give them solutions so that they can easily do the thing that you want them to do. Just a little side note. Okay, let's call.
call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message.
All right, well, it sounded like a cell phone number almost.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice.
We got to talk to somebody. I don't normally do the 3 call, but
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 30275012999 is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hey, Rodman, this is Nathan. I was calling about a listing I saw here of yours and really interested in it. If you could, please give me a call back as soon as you can. I'll talk to you soon. All right, thanks. Take care. Bye-bye. All right. Now, guys, a couple things. If you haven't seen or heard me do that before, the way I do my voicemails, I don't want to tell them what property I'm calling about, right? My goal, my number one thing I'm trying to get him to do is to call me back. So I want to create as much curiosity as I can. So, 1, light, friendly tone, right? Upbeat. But 2, hey, I'm calling about a listing of yours. I'm really interested. Please give me a call back as soon as you can, right? And the reason why I don't like saying the listing is because, again, we want to build that curiosity. We want to get him to call us. Like, that's going to be information that he wants to know, because he might have multiple listings. He might have this house, right, to where he's like, this one's going to be a pain. Like, it's a fixer-upper. Like, I'm not even going to make that much on the commission, right? And at the same time, he might have another listing that's like a nice, like, luxury property, whatever the case may be, something that he would make 2 to 3 times as much money on, right? I don't know. But I don't want him to make that decision, right, as far as whether he's excited to talk to me or not, based on what listing I'm calling about. So I want to get him to call me back, and then I'll let him know, right? So kind of dangle the carrot out there. Hey, we're really interested about one of your listings, right? But we don't let him know which one. And we say, hey, give us a call back. All right. Let's try to call someone else. Let's look at this. This one probably not a fit just because the picture looks nice. But it does, like, it just kind of looks like an old home, right? 1955. Pretty decent home, right? Really nice shape. They took good care of it. Could it use updating? Now, here's the thing with updating. The updating, and right, we're in a totally new market. So, for me here in Danbury, Connecticut, or, for my normal market, which is Orlando, Florida, I might look at this and be like, oh yeah, we could update this kitchen, do some stuff, get this rug out of here. But that's for Orlando, or that might be true for Danbury, Connecticut. Doesn't mean it's true for Newark, Delaware. Right? This might be the standard for Newark, right? Whatever the rehab is for that area, I have to look at not just, similar properties, similar comps, but I also need to look at what are the similar rehabs, right? And because that's where a lot of people, they'll look at a house and be like, oh, okay, this is probably like, a $60,000, $70,000 rehab. But investors in this market, in this area, they might be like, wait, no, like we would keep this. This is great for this area. This is perfect. We wouldn't touch anything. This is like turnkey for us. And so what you might think is a $60,000, $70,000 rehab, because you're like, oh, well, they got to put in granite countertops and they got to put in all new cabinets and do this and do that. The reality is the investors in this market, they might be like, wait, no, that, like, this is normal. Like, this is perfect. We're going to leave this all as is. And so that $60,000 rehab that you thought it was, might only be like a $15,000 rehab for the investor, right? And that's going to make a big impact on what you offer and what you're able to do the deal at. Ah, all right. I love this though. A little sweat equity will go a long way. What does that tell me? It needs work. Ooh, but we just had a call back.
Yes, this is Rod Mullins, returning your call.
Rod, he goes by Rod. All right, let's give Rod a call back. It was this one, right? Perfect.
Yes, this is Rod.
Hey, Rod, this is Nathan. How you doing?
Good.
I appreciate you giving me a call back.
Sure.
I was calling, yeah, about a listing of yours on Galen Court.
Yes.
Yeah, I was looking at it, really interested in it. Really like the property. I'm looking at it as a potential investment opportunity. And I was wondering if you could
Okay.
just tell me a little bit about the property and anything in particular that you think would be important for someone like me to know.
So you investing that you want to rent or?
Well, it kind of depends, like overall, right? So it depends on the property, depends on when I take a closer look, would this make more sense for to fix it up, to resell it, to rent it out,
Um,
um,
it's gonna. It Here's what it needs. It needs paint and carpet is what it needs.
mhm.
Everything else is real good. The heating, air conditioning are fairly new. The kitchen, the two full bathrooms are all redone. So, but it doesn't show well because it needs paint and carpet. These people, packed up and moved to the beach. They had a retirement home down there, and we're like, here you go, sell this thing.
Oh,
So,
jeez. So you kind of got left
so
with the bag.
it's not too bad. I mean, and it's got a huge yard, a real nice corner lot, but the shrubbery's overgrown. It's that kind of a thing. You're probably looking at maybe 8 to 10 grand to get it cleaned up, fixed up real nice. Yeah.
Okay. And I'd agree with you, from looking at, like, it's not a bad house by any means, it's
Yeah.
I think it's in really
Yeah.
good shape, yeah, kind of just like what you said, a little bit of paint, just a little bit of carpet, I think could go a long ways. I think it's a nice listing. Um, I guess for who do you kind of feel this home would kind of be the best fit for? Like who do you feel would be kind of the right buyer for this?
Somebody needs to live there.
Yeah, so like a first time home buyer kind of thing.
Maybe the next step up, a first time home buyer, yeah. And what I'll tell you, I mean, I see your out of town number. There's nothing. There's nothing for sale in Newcastle County. Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
There's four houses from 300 to 400 for sale in a 15-mile radius.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know
Okay,
you
so
it's only been listed for like a day, right?
2 days. Yeah, 2 days. Yeah,
Yeah. My guess is you phone's probably been blowing up about it.
yeah. And
I
that's why the condition doesn't make that much difference, just because there's just nothing for sale. But it's not the crazy market it was at one point either.
hmm
With interest rates, there isn't as many buyers out there.
yeah, so you guys are feeling it kind of cool off a bit by you.
Yeah, we're seeing it cool off, but then that's what's happening is people aren't putting their houses on the market because they're sitting on 3.5% mortgages. Then they're going to have to move up to a bigger house at 7%.
Got it. Okay. Now I know you got it listed here for 340, and it's only been listed
Yep.
for a day, 2 days.
Yeah.
Obviously my number one thing is, look, I'm never ever looking to make a low ball offer, that would insult you or the sellers. That's not my goal. And like I said, I'm not sure if I'd be the right buyer for you guys. I know you just listed it. You're probably getting some good interest. I guess,
Yeah.
what do you think kind of at the end of the day? I know you'd mentioned there's not much out there, but the market has cooled a little bit at the same time. What do you feel this will probably sell at?
330.
Okay. and at, kind of close to 330, um, do you feel like this property could make sense as an investment property, or do you just feel like it?
You mean to flip it?
No, ideally, that's not really always not my first choice. Not for this, just because it doesn't really need enough work to make sense
Well,
for it to be a flip.
here's what I'll tell you. So I have a rental management company also, and I manage 182 residential rentals.
Oh wow.
Okay, so that thing's going to rent out for 2,800 a month. So you put the numbers together. If that makes sense, fine. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Okay. If do you just have the rental company, or
Yes.
do you invest yourself?
I'm I'm winding down. All my investments. Yeah, I'm winding down. So yeah.
Got it. Okay. Well, I guess let me ask you this, Rod, because I mean, you know the house much better than me. You know the
Right.
area better than me. And you clearly you've got a really good handle on kind of the rent in the area. Do you feel like the sellers would accept a price that to where this could make sense at those numbers that you're talking about?
You
If it
got to
were to
put
rent for that.
you got to put those numbers together so you figure out that taxes and insurance. Taxes are cheap down here; they're a couple $100, and insurance might be maybe 100. So you figured out at $2,500 a month. Where does it go? What's it worth to you? But I will tell you that the rental market, it'll be rented in one day, and it'll always be rented.
Okay. Um, Let me ask you. I know you got it listed for 340. Your center will probably sell around 330, which honestly I wouldn't disagree. I think you're probably spot on. Yeah, and I think you'll be able to sell this thing no problem. So like I said, I don't know if I'm the right buyer for you guys.
Right.
I do got to do a little homework on my end. If I don't know, is other than, of course, getting the most for the home is, a priority for the sellers. But other than price, is there anything at all that, other than price, that is of any importance to them?
Now,
Okay, so closing timeline, that whether it's quick or slow, makes no difference
it's
to
it's
them.
gonna it's gonna go quick regardless, so it doesn't make a difference.
Okay, got it. And then the last question is, I guess, realistically, if I were to crunch the numbers, and if I were able to put together a cash offer, close on the seller's timeline, no contingencies, uh,
Yeah.
realistically, what price would they really need to be at in order for an offer
Well,
like that to make sense?
you need to come up with something, and I'll throw it out there.
Okay, so if well, I guess the number one thing I'm trying to is, like I said, I don't want to make an offer that would insult them. So if I run the numbers and you
Go
know
ahead and insult. Go ahead and insult them. I don't care. Just come up with something, and we'll figure it out.
Okay, so if I run the numbers and if my offer's at like
You
260,
offer whatever you want to
270.
offer, and I'll figure it out. There you go. Yeah.
Okay.
Now I will tell you that number, right? That number, I'm definitely buying that place.
Got it.
So yeah, why don't you go ahead and throw that number out there? If they're ready to accept it, then I can swoop in there and take it.
Hey, come on now.
I like that. I like that idea. Yeah, yeah,
There you go. Hey, I thought you were trying to slow down.
yeah. I'll put 10 grand into it and get it really cleaned up and get more.
There you go. Well, Rod, I'll
Right?
tell you what. Let
Yeah.
me take a closer look at things on my end.
And then give me a call.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I'll get back with you in touch,
All
and then
right.
we can go from there.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thanks. Take care. All right, guys. So I don't know if you could hear him. It was really, really quiet. So I don't know. Somebody just let me know in the chat if you guys were able to hear that conversation at all. He was, for whatever reason, his phone was really quiet. So, guys, did that sound like there was much motivation in that situation? No. Right? So right off the bat, that agent's like, look, dude, this thing's gonna sell. I really don't care. The sellers don't really care. They're already moved to their beach home. He was like, it is what it is. He said he has a rental company. Phil, we heard fine. Okay, awesome. Thank you. He talked about how he has his own rental company. So, and he is an investor or was an investor. He said he's trying to kind of slow down. So, what was I trying to do this whole time? I'm trying to feel out. I have no idea if this is a good price, if it's a bad price. I don't know what rents are, right? I got all that information out of him. He's saying 8 to 10 grand. I don't know about that, but he's saying it'll also rent for 2,800. I have no clue. I have no clue if this would be an $8,000 to $10,000 rehab. I have no clue if rent is 2,800. But what do I know? I know that he is the listing agent, he's the expert, and he's the one that gave me that information. So if I were to put together an offer based on his numbers, and I said, hey, Rod, look, so I just want to be clear. You definitely think, just 8 to 10 grand based on what it is, like, you think that's all it would take to fix it up? And he's like, yeah, absolutely. It'd only take 8 to 10 grand, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, got it. And this thing, you think all day could rent for 2,800 a month. He's like, yeah, absolutely. Okay, got it. If that's the case, I'm able to make an offer at blank price. Now, what happens when they accept that offer? They accept that offer, you walk the property, and 9 times out of 10, oh, it's not an $8,000 to $10,000 rehab. It's more like a $35,000 rehab, right? Oh, the market rent really isn't 2,800 a month. It's more like 2,200 a month. And so, what does that do for you? Now, if you need to renegotiate it, that's not on you, right? It's not because you didn't have a buyer. It's not because you didn't mess up, right? Really do make the offer. If he gives you those numbers, really make sure that your offer based on those numbers could work, right? Because you also don't want to do that either. We're not trying to be misleading. But if he is telling you up and down that these are the numbers, right? I don't argue with him. I'll make my offer based on those numbers. And then when I walk it and need to renegotiate it, that's not on me. I'm saying, hey, Rod, look, I would have loved to paid, 330, but that was assuming it was a $10,000 rehab and rent was 2,800 a month. We did a walkthrough and my guy's saying it needs this and this and this and this. I mean, it's not like we're 1 or 2 grand off. That's like a $35,000 rehab. Look, I'm not trying to lowball you, but obviously, 330 just wouldn't make sense, with that size rehab, right? And the market rent, if it was 2,800, it'd work, but this is what I'm seeing for market rent. It's actually 2,200, right? And so what does that do? It puts him on his heels because he's the one that gave you misleading information or bad information, right? It doesn't mean he meant that intentionally, but he's the one that has to make up for it. You're not the bad guy for needing to renegotiate it because the information he gave was bad and you base it off of his numbers. So, this property is motivated? No, not really. But what did we do? We still, and again, I had no clue what a good price would be. And I was trying to fish out a number from him. And he's like, oh, just make an offer, just make an offer, just make it. I'm like, okay, got it. Now, one thing, even just with that, he gave me permission like 4 times. Hey, you're not insulting anybody. Whatever your offer is, like, just make it. Like, okay, like, nobody's there to get upset with me, right? 2, one of the things I should have said is that, like, hey, Rod, I understand that, but look, I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste mine. Look, if my offer's around here, like, is that something they would even consider, or should I not even bother calling back? That's what I should have said to him. But what I did say was something similar to where I was like, okay, got it. So even if I crunch the numbers on my offer, what did I do? Boom, I anchored low. I'm not saying this is what my offer is, but I said, even if I take a look and my offer's at like 260, 270, like, still give you a call. And what does he do? He cut me off. And he's like, look. He's like, if your offer's around that and they're willing to say yes to it, he's like, I'll buy that all day. What did that do? That at least tells me what is a ballpark price of a good deal for a house like this in this neighborhood, this area. Guys, we knew nothing about this market 30 minutes ago. But I know that at a purchase price, market rent could be around 2,800. I know that this house would be a good deal all day below 300, or a really, really hot opportunity. And I also know that he told me that, yeah, don't even bother calling back, right? He said that without saying that. So what would I do? They're not ready to kind of consider an offer that I would probably need to be at. First and foremost, though, is I would want to look at comps. I'd want to look for buyers and see what have other investors been paying for in this area, because that ultimately will determine what my offer price is. It's not me. It's not what I think off the ARV is. It's not what I think market rent is. It's not what I think the rehab is. Same thing. It doesn't matter what the agent. It's what the buyer thinks. It's what your buyer thinks ARV is. It's what your buyer thinks it would rent for, and it's what your buyer thinks the rehab is. I think I just said that. What your ARV, rehab, rent. Right? So that's why the buyer is the most important piece. And that's why I would find a buyer from this conversation. First thing I would do is I would now find a buyer that would be interested in this home and have them tell me exactly what they could pay. So guys, that is all I've got for today. That is Privy, that is Delaware, starting from scratch. If you want to learn a little bit more about kind of how we use Privy, how we find deals, what we do, honestly, and what I do is I show you guys pretty much how to flip a house before even making an offer. That's the only way I do real estate now. Traditional wholesaling, it's not really what I do. But if you guys want to learn more about that, Privy's my favorite tool for doing that. There should be, let me just throw a link in here for you guys. But if you go to painlessflipping.com, you guys can sign up. We're doing a free masterclass on Thursday, and you can learn more about it. But until then, let me just throw this in here for you guys. But guys, that is another Deal Finding Friday. I hope you guys got something of value out of it. And let me throw the link in here. All right, painlessflipping.com. Feel free to join. Come sign up. And guys, until next time, I will see you Friday, Deal Flipping Friday next week. Have an amazing weekend. Take care, guys.